The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Angela Lagunzad Castro. The Health Department urged the public to remain calm following the World Health Organization's declaration of a public health emergency regarding Mpox. The WHO raised the alarm on Mpox after more people in Africa, particularly in the Democratic Republic of Congo, got infected with the disease. Based on the latest data, over 17,000 of Mpox cases were recorded in Africa so far. Over 500 patients have succumbed to Mpox. The symptoms of Mpox include fever, skin rash, body ache, weakness, and swelling of lymph nodes. There are currently no vaccines or treatment for Mpox, but infected people can naturally recover from the disease. DOH said there are no cases or active cases of Mpox in the country. The country has recorded 7 cases of Mpox in December 2023, and all of them have already recovered.
Ang lagi namin sinasabi sa public health, kailangan po alerto tayo, no? Yung parang kanina, tamang praning lang, wag masyado. Bakit? Kasi kailangan alam rin natin kung anong gagawin natin para hindi tayo mahawaan, para tayo ay makaingat.
DTI Undersecretary Mary Jean Pacheco discusses the coverage and objectives of the Internet Transactions Act. Here's an excerpt from her interview on The Big Story.
Give us a bird's eye view of what you're trying to do here.
So the law, as you reported earlier on, the law was signed by the President last December. It's a fairly new law, but this is a landmark law because it covers all internet transactions. So it's simply, if you buy and sell online, this is the law that provides the regulatory framework to help, the main goal is really to build trust on e-commerce. And I always say, in DTI, we promote micro, small, medium enterprises. So we want more businesses to sell online because really the potential of e-commerce is huge. In the same manner as when you sell online, we are also in the business of protecting consumers. Since most of us here, before the show, I ask all of us here are online consumers.
We are fans of online shopping. But let me ask you this, Yusek. You said this is to build trust, and trust is a two-way thing. So you said to protect consumers, but I assume it's also to protect sellers. So it goes all ways and every way.
That's correct. So it is. The long title really reads both merchant protection and consumer protection, creating for this purpose the e-commerce bureau. So the law provides very clearly the requirements, the compliance requirements. If you are a merchant and you sell, that is very clear in the law. And also, it is also very clear in the law that if you are a consumer, you also have obligations. One of the things that I'd like to always explain, that in this particular law, it provides clarity on the type of e-commerce enterprises. Usually, when you say e-commerce, especially when I started, people will always say that, e-commerce is like Lazada, Shopee.
But it's more than that.
Yes, but it's really more than that. When you say e-commerce, there's an ecosystem built around it. If you are a consumer, you have a merchant, and then you look at the product, you go through a platform. The platform connects the merchant and the seller. When you want the product, you pay for it, and of course, it's delivered to you. So that is, in effect, the ecosystem. And that's been considered here. And what are the enterprises? We all know about the digital platforms. The digital platforms are the ones that connect. So you know them as Shopee, Lazada, Facebook, TikTok Shop, Amazon, and all of that. So those are the digital platforms. If you are an e-retailer, you have a brick and mortar, or you have a website. You have your own. You are called an e-retailer.
Okay.
You have presence, and then we also the law identifies online merchants.
If you're planning to go out this weekend, have no worries because it's going to be a fair weather. This as the southwest monsoon or hanging habagat continues to weaken. The southwest monsoon is only felt in extreme northern Luzon. The rest of the country will experience a fair weather today and in the coming weekend. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Angela Lagunzad Castro. Let's now take a quick look at today's other headlines. In the Philippine Star, the COMELEC is eyeing separate charges against those involved in the alleged bribery and money laundering. Chairman George Garcia said they will file a case if their ongoing investigation confirms the allegations made in the U.S. indictment. At least 4 people have been indicted by the federal jury, including the founder of Smartmatic, who already surrendered to authorities. And in business world, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas cuts policy rates for the first time in nearly 4 years. The Monetary Board reduced the target reverse repurchase rate by 25 basis points to 6.25% from the over 17-year high of 6.5%. This was in line with the expectations of 9 out of 16 analysts surveyed last week. The number of Sharia courts in the country has increased to 63. This after President Bongbong Marcos signed a law that creates 3 additional Sharia judicial districts and 12 circuit courts across the country. There are now more Sharia courts outside of the Muslim-dominated Mindanao, including Calabarzon and Metro Manila. Sharia courts cover the customary and personal laws of Muslims. They are under the administrative supervision of the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the Zamboanga Peninsula has the highest poverty incidence among the country's regions. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, 24.4% of households in the region are living and earning below the poverty threshold. Next is the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao with a poverty incidence of 23.5%. The poverty threshold per family for the Zamboanga Peninsula is at 13,897 pesos per month, while the threshold for BARM is 12,884 pesos. Mas dumadami na raw ang mga curious na turistang Pinoy sa Tawi-Tawi. Ano-ano nga ba ang mga may offer ng pinakadulong timog ng bansa sa mga turista? Para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Francis Orsio.
Magulo at hindi payapa. Ganyan inilalarawan ng iba ang probinsya sa pinakadulong timog ng Pilipinas, ang Tawi-Tawi. Pero ngayon, isa na yan sa mga dinarayong lugar dahil sa dami ng nagagandahang tanawin. Ang makulay na kabisera na Bonggao ang unang bubungad sa mga bibisita sa Tawi-Tawi. Malayo sa tumatak sa iba na imahe ng magulong lugar, payapa ang pangkaraniwang araw sa bayan. Maya't maya ka ring makakakita ng mga turista na tumataas daw ang bilang sa mga nagdaang taon. Curiosity raw ang karaniwang dahilan kaya isinasama sa bucket list ang Tawi-Tawi. Sino ba naman kasing hindi mapapaisip kung ano ba ang itsura ng dulo ng bansa?
Mostly ng mga nakakausap ko and nakakabisita dito, akala nila yung Tawi-Tawi is magulo, no? But the good thing is, marami na rin nagvo-vote na yung Tawi-Tawi is a good place and is a nice place. Etong Tawi-Tawi is tourism ready na po.
Ilan sa hindi dapat palampasin sa mga kilalang tourist destination sa Bonggao ang Budbonggao. Itinuturing itong milagrosong bundok ng mga katutubong lokal. Karaniwan ding may makikitang mga unggoy dito.
Bago pa man tayo makaakyat sa may pinakatuktok nitong Budbonggao sa Tawi-Tawi, meron na agad sumalubong sa ating mga unggoy. Marami sila. Actually.
Pwede rin isama sa inyong listahan ang pagpunta sa Balobok Cave, ang oldest Chinese pier sa Tawi-Tawi at ang pinakamatandang mosque sa Pilipinas. Siyempre, hindi rin mawawala ang mga nagagandahang beach, marine protected areas at mga scuba diving sites. Kaya naman mula sa 70,000 tourists noong 2021, umaabot na raw sa halos 70,000 ang bumibisita sa Tawi-Tawi kada taon. Yun nga lang, aminado ang Bonggao Tourism na kulang pa sila sa pasilidad sa pagdami ng mga turista. Bagay na tinututukan na raw nila ngayon.
Sa ngayon po, may mga infra projects po with the investors, local investors. May mga hotels na ongoing construction, the resorts also. Since dumami nga yung guest, so parang na-feel nilang kailangan ng magdagdag na accommodation.
At ngayong nagiging progresibo pa ang lugar, mas pinaghahandaan nila ang inaasahang pagdami ng turista.
Yung goal ko po, hopefully magawa namin yung tourist development plan namin for this year para at least kahit papano yung mga dumarating dito na mga tourist is mabibigyan namin ng maayos na serbisyo din.
Sa sandaling pagbisita ko sa Tawi-Tawi, baon ko ang masasayang experience. Ikaw, isasama mo na ba sa next travel mo ang pagpasyal sa pinakadulo ng Pilipinas? Mobile journalist Francis Orcio po, hatid ang buka ng balita.
And those are the top stories of the hour. I'm Angela Lagunzad Castro, We Are One News.